I would consider a major repair on a piano anything that I have to start removing parts, ordering parts, gluing parts back in that have come unglued or have broken. And I would consider a minor repair something that I can do as I'm going through tuning the piano. A sticking key 99% of the time is something that I can just do as I find it as I'm tuning the piano. It takes 5-10 seconds to fix. Regulation and voicing are two totally separate things. Regulation is the relation between when you press the key and when you hear a sound. A fairly simple concept of that is lost motion. And that is, you press the key, it could go down a little bit at the thickness of a quarter before the hammer starts moving. Or as the piano gets older, it could go halfway down before the hammer starts moving and before you hear a sound. When it gets too bad, you will not be able to play the piano. It will not do the things that it's supposed to do when it's supposed to do it. So going through and regulating a piano is making all those adjustments so that every piece that moves when you press the key is doing it when it's supposed to do it, how far it's supposed to do it, and only moving as far as it's supposed to move. There is the possibility of it moving too far and breaking pieces inside the piano, which would go back to the major repairs that we just talked about. Voicing is the tone quality of the piano. If you picture in your mind a drumstick hitting a ride cymbal, now picture a yarn-covered mallet hitting that same ride cymbal. That is the difference you can achieve with voicing. Very, very bright and almost harsh sounding, or really warm, mellow, sort of a soft, full, thick sound. And you can go to either extreme on those just by the way you treat the felt on the hammers. Make it harder, make it softer, more resilient, less resilient, that sort of thing. Hammer shaping is the initial step to voicing. Hammers have a teardrop shape, possibly a diamond shape, but either way, they come to a very dull point. After years and years of playing, they get flattened out, they get grooves. That can do two things. The strike point being flattened out increases the strike point and has the hammer hitting a larger area of the string, causing odd, obnoxious, harsh tones. And if the string grooves and the hammers get deep enough, they can actually cause an aftertone that is almost like a plucking. And you will not get a clear, concise, nice tone from hammers that need to be reshaped. Also, as you shape hammers, you remove the very outer layer of felt. As hammers are pressed, they're pressed in layers. They're meant to be removed as needed. You can do it usually 2 to 3 times before the hammers need to be replaced. On a very old piano, 60 to 100 years, that outer layer has been subject to dust and humidity changes and can become very crusty, very crispy. As you reshape the hammers and expose the new layer of felt that hasn't been exposed to the climate changes or the dust, you move the piano back towards the way it was originally intended to sound, with the softer hammers, the softer felt. Action rebuilding is replacing all the wood and felt components that have become old, broken, brittle. As a piano gets older and has been played a lot, the felt compresses, the felt wears out in a lot of instances. As the piano reaches a very old age, a piano that was built pre-Great Depression, early 1900s, late 1890s, the wood can become brittle and actually start breaking. You can start breaking hammers. Things can get so far off inside the action that they're no longer adjustable. When you rebuild the action, you're either reinforcing the wood components or you're putting all new wood components on. You're putting all new felt components, new hammers, new shanks. Everything inside that piano is back to the way it came from the factory or better.